Got to wait on my IT guy. There we go. There's my picture up on the screen. Well, welcome everybody to September's town hall meeting. Jerry just had to come up and fix the date because I'm always a day late and $1 short. So at this point I was early, but we'll get kicked off today. I'll call forth Pastor Elliott to lead us in prayer and then give you the pastoral care update.
It's a good thing you changed the date. I was going to come back tomorrow. Well, it's good to see you all today. It's such a beautiful day out today, isn't it? It's wonderful to live here in Central Florida. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dearest Lord, Heavenly Father, we give you thanks and praise for the beauty of this day and for the care and attention you bring to us every moment of every day. This place that you created and continue to sustain is a wonderful place, and we give you thanks for it. As we now meet to hear of all the activities and the things that are going on, help us to pause our hearts so that we continue to worship you in every moment, to give you thanks and praise for all that you do for us, and to help us see clearly that which you have promised for us in the future. A world that is new and beautiful, perfect in every way, a place that we shall enjoy together and continue to praise you for eternity. Help us now as we gather, have your Spirit enter in and guide us in all that we do. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Since we're in Revelation for the last 5 weeks, I had to put something in there about eternity, right? All right. Well, nothing much new has changed. I'll hand it over now to... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, these slides are kind of standard, but the newest thing here, which we mentioned last time and has now been enacted, is that we have communion every Sunday at the ALF service at 9:30. The communion schedule at the church does not change, so hear that clearly. The communion schedule at the ALF is the only thing that's changed, so if you find yourself in need for communion and it's an off week over in one of the services you normally attend, come on over to 9:30, see what it's like. Say hello to a bunch of friends you might have forgotten, and then, of course, have Holy Communion. We'd love to have you there. Next slide. Okay, Bible studies are pretty much the same. We are finishing up. We have 2 more weeks in our apologetics course on Community Night Bible Study, and then October 2nd, Deaconess McLean will be taking over with the book of Esther. You all keep asking who's doing what, so we figured we might tell you once. About time, huh? The other thing that's new here and different is number 5, and that's Bible study at the Landings. Landings has been asking for a Bible study of their own, and I put it out to a group of pastors yesterday to see if somebody might be interested in doing so. But if you weren't at that meeting with those pastors, or even if you're a layperson, and if you'd like to do a Bible study over at the Landings, it's really neat. You can make it any way you want as long as you're theologically correct, okay? You can meet any day you want at any hour you want except midnight. You know, let's not do it in the middle of the night. But, and you know, when you need to take a vacation, well, you take a break from Bible study for a couple of weeks while you take that vacation. So if anybody's interested, please come and see me, let me know, and we'll see if we can't get that started up for the Landings as well. Just another place to have Bible study, to study God's Word. It's always a good thing to have more Bible study. Going on to the events, we continue to have Koinonia, second and fourth Fridays. We do have a change coming up in the service schedule at the church. I wanted to alert you to it. And that is October 27th at 11 o'clock. There's going to be a special recognition for Pastor Roberts as he moves to retire. So the fuel service will be joined with the sanctuary service in the sanctuary so that we're all together at that service in one place so that we can give some special recognition to Pastor Roberts. Following that, there will be a retirement party to follow. But I have to tell you, he's not going to be able to put up with too much, okay? So there won't be a reception line, anything like that. So prepare your cards in advance if you would. And he probably won't be able to make it through the whole hour. So, but we encourage you to come and at least wave, do something like that. Tell him you love him and wish him well, knowing, of course, that he is completely and totally in the arms of his Savior. So all is well with Brian. And in case you hadn't heard it, Brian has been writing the prayers of the church for a while now, probably over a year. So every time you hear the prayer of the church on Sunday, you're hearing Brian Roberts. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay. There is another event, and that is, it's not on there, so don't worry about it, Raleigh. You don't have to flip back. This is kind of like a verbal announcement. We have a marriage retreat coming up from November 1st through November 4th over in Daytona. We have spots for 12 couples. If you got canceled going to New Orleans, that means you probably still have some money. So for $750 a couple, you get 3 nights, I guess, in a hotel on Daytona Beach and nice couple marriage retreat there. You guys can come and tutor all the young couples. Wouldn't that be great? Well, we'd love to have you. Consider signing up for one of those. We'd love to see you. All right. Other news? The church did a formal DCE call, a call for a new DCE over at the church to head up the high school youth, the college-age youth, and young adult ministry. We called Mr. Jeremy Becker from St. Paul Weston down in South Florida, down by Fort Lauderdale. He's theologically sound. After all, he grew up in a pastor's house. His dad taught at the SEM. So he's a solid guy. I know him, and I'm happy that we called him. We'll see if he accepts that call. The pastoral call continues, doing the work there, trying to interview folks, see who's willing and ready to come be part of this fantastic team at St. Luke's. But as you all know, there's a shortage, right? So it's a difficult process, and we will continue to work through it. And there is one more announcement here that isn't on the slide because I thought of it just now. Haha. And that is we are continuing to work to start up a Lutherans for Life team at St. Luke's. And I'd like to make sure that invitation gets extended here to the Haven as well. Lutherans for Life is a pan-Lutheran organization, just as Lutheran Haven is. And it's a solid group. I went to their conference last fall. And just to check them out, see what they're all about, and tested them pretty thoroughly, I think. And I'm confident that they will be giving us some good guidance as we put this team together. There's a new chapter started here in Central Florida. It is the only chapter in the Southeast United States. And it's right here in Central Florida. So it'd be great to have a life team that's now part of that chapter and moving forward. It's a long process because Lutherans for Life takes great care in putting life teams together. Life teams actually come together and they study God's word regarding life issues and then do first the internal struggle within the team. Because believe it or not, we all don't think the same way. So we have to sit down and study hard what God's word says and then apply it to life issues. And then the team will move forward from there, choosing the kind of topics that they want to tackle and the projects that they want to tackle, making sure that whatever we do is sustainable. But the neat thing about this model is this team doesn't have to do everything. It just needs to do something well so it can share it with other teams across the United States. That's what Lutherans for Life corporate really does, is they make sure they have expertise here and expertise there and expertise there. And if there's a need, they can call you up and have you share it. So it's a pretty neat idea, and it works pretty well. Of course, you are invited to the life marches that happen nationally once a year in January in Washington, D.C. Who thought that was a good month to go to Washington, D.C.? But there's also other life team marches. One just happened recently in Pennsylvania. I think we had one in Tampa here in Florida last year or the year before. So they have regional life marches occasionally that you're invited to go to as well. If you have more interest in the Lutherans for Life team here at St. Luke's, please come and see me about it. I need some help getting that up and moving. And I think that does it for me. Any questions? I was clear. Woohoo! That's a first. All right. Well, let's ask Lori Baker to come on up and tell us more about the activities that are upcoming.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so unfortunately, we did not go to New Orleans, since everyone knew. But I have another trip coming up, which is in Washington, D.C., and I'll talk about that in a second. But I do want to mention the Kennedy Space Center. This is not an activities event. This is on your own. It's something that the Orlando Sentinel put out. Tickets are normally $75. They're offering them this week only from the 16th through the 22nd for $19. All you need to do is go there with a Florida ID, letting them know which county you live in, and they can probably figure it out. So if you're in Seminole, Volusia, Orange, or Osceola County, you'll get that $19 ticket, admission to get in. I'm sorry? Oh, well, they didn't say anything about parking, but, well, even so, $29, it's a deal compared to $75. Okay, our next trip is to De Leon Springs and Sugar Mill. For those of you who have not been there, it's a beautiful outdoor space where you can go in and make your own pancakes. They have tons of batter. They'll give it to you as much as you want. They have a griddle right in the front. You make your pancakes, you eat them. You can go out. There's kayaking, boating, fishing. There's an hour tour if you're interested in that. And that's a separate fee of $14. So the cost for you to go there, because they don't charge an admission, but they do charge by car. So the cost for bus and I guess per person, and transportation to there is $9.33 per person. And that will be placed on your statement, and all you will need to do is sign a form that the bus driver will give to you once you get on the bus. And that your signature just shows that you agreed to have that $9.33 taken out or put on your statement. This Saturday, Rotary Club of Oviedo is hosting a pig roast and pigskins tailgate party, and all the residents are invited. The normal tickets are $40 per person, but because they're having their event here, they're giving the residents a discount of $25, and that will include dinner and a drink. They're going to have games outside. They'll have raffles, raffle tickets, games, and tailgate parties. So everyone is invited. There is a sign-up sheet outside of my office for you to sign up, and they will accept cash at the door, which is $25. Our birthday luncheon this month is at Pepe's Cantina, and the bus is no charge. They will pick you up outside of your house. Lunch is on your own. And then Jersey Boys, I was lucky enough to obtain 22 tickets for the Jersey Boys musical. It is in Kissimmee. All the tickets, unfortunately, are sold out at this time. So the tickets and transportation to the show will be $26.35, and that will also be added to your monthly statement. And again, all you need to do is sign the form the bus driver has as he picks you up outside of your home. And another reminder, upcoming activities for the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. They'll be here October 7th through the 11th. And they'll have a bunch of different topics. It will be Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 11:30. So again, there will be no other activities in the morning only for that week. And everyone is invited. I do have a sign-up sheet outside of my office, so if you're interested in that, and that is free of charge. So if you're interested in that, feel free to sign up. And last but not least, our Washington, D.C. trip. And as of today, we have 40 people going. We will have up to 48, so if you're thinking about it, you might want to sign up pretty quickly. Any questions for me? Yes? Is there going to be on that sheriff's thing? Mm-hmm. Is there going to be something that we could see later? Because I'm going to be gone. Well, we didn't talk about having it recorded. I can talk to Jeff. I'm not sure. I'll ask him. The question was, will the sheriff's office seminar be recorded so that people that cannot make it here will be able to see it? I'll check with our IT people. Anyone else? Yes? The birthday lunch, is that only for people whose birthdays are during that month? No, the question was, is the birthday luncheon just for the people whose birthdays are in that month? No. I have a sign-up sheet. You're welcome to come any month that you would like to come. It's just first come, first serve. You want to sign up? The sheet's outside my office. No, you don't have to have your birthday in that month. Okay? Yes, sir.
Yeah, kind of a multi-question, and I don't know if you're the right person to ask. They're going to be opening a pub. I just parked across the street and looked at it. When is that going to open? Am I asking the right person?
No.
Okay.
He'll answer that later on in the, okay? Anyone else? Great. Okay, Stephanie, you're on.
Hello, everyone. All right, so first we are going to introduce our newest residents here at the Haven, and we're a few months behind, so we've got quite a crew here, and I see a few of them here today. So if you're here, if you would just stand when we show your slide. So first up, we have Michael Gibson and Kathy Krieger from St. Cloud, Florida. And their new home is at 2140 Goldfinch, so back in section 4. And they were on the list for a really long time, right? Yeah. How long? 15 years. So they waited until they got the perfect place, and yeah, water view, that's good. Next up, we have their new roofmates, who are also here today, Carol and Marianne Callaghan from Oviedo, Florida. Would you guys like to stand? And they are at 2142 Goldfinch. And then next we have the Paytons, Don and Chris, also from Oviedo. It looks like Don is party of one today. And their new home, and they're probably the newest to the Haven because they just moved in like a few days ago, right? Okay, we could go today. They're at 1390 Haven, also water view. We've had a lot of those lately, so nice. And then I didn't see them, I'm not sure. Jim and Ruth Wilson, new residents at the Landings. Yeah, I don't think they're here, but they're with us, and we're happy they're here. There they are. And then last but not least, we walked in together, so she's in here somewhere, is Verdry Kaminska. Here she is. And she's also a new resident at the Landings from Port Charlotte, Florida. So we're happy she's here. So welcome, Verdry. And then, so a couple of things. I mentioned at our managers meeting this month that at our last Lunch and Learn, we did a showcase of our residents. They were our presenters. So are any of my panel of residents here in the room today that were part of that? Oh, we got one back there, Ellie. So anyway, it was just really cool because we just randomly chose a group of residents, some couples, some singles, and they were our topic for the month. We're just trying to do some, different things, and who better to talk about the Haven than the people who live here. And so prior to the Lunch and Learn, I had some preset questions that we presented to them just so they could kind of be thinking about, what they were going to say. And so the idea was that I was going to narrate while we did this little Lunch and Learn, and it just worked out really well. I started by narrating, but then the residents basically just took over. And, they just talked about living at Lutheran Haven, and like I said, we had some prompts, but it was just really great. And the guests were very engaged, and we'll definitely be doing it again. But it was encouraging for Jennifer and I, because, we're the ones talking and doing our thing, but it was just a great reminder hearing about, what a gift it truly is to be at Lutheran Haven. So it was a win-win. So we were there, very thankful for that crew that supported us, and we'll probably, we can open it up to new people as well. But it was just a great way to showcase the Haven and hear it firsthand about all the wonderful things happening, and they just bounced off of each other, and it was great. And it's just a good reminder that, you know, our residents are our biggest selling point. And, you know, so help us by spreading the word, which I know you already do, but just a reminder, you know, when you get that opportunity to, you know, talk about life here, and if anybody ever wants to learn more, send them our way. We would be happy to talk to them and help them plan for the future, because they do have to have a plan. Even though we do sometimes now have immediate availability at the landings, oftentimes we are still dealing with a wait list. So, you know, that's our biggest thing, is people who call us, you know, tour, they maybe don't go on the list, and then they call us a couple years later, they're ready to move in, and unfortunately they have to wait. So just keep helping us with that. The other thing that I thought about when Lori was just up here doing her slides is she was talking about the Rotary. And we have a move-in coming into the landings, hopefully, near the end of the month. Raleigh's helping us with that. But it's a referral from the Rotary. So, you know, people come on campus, and it's crazy. You know, people live in Oviedo. They really have no idea what all goes on back here. But opportunities like that, you know, having the Rotary here, it's just another way for us to, you know, let people know what the Haven's all about. And yeah, so we have somebody coming in from the Rotary, which is an unexpected referral source. So we're happy about that. So that's it for me. Anybody have any questions for me? No? All right. So next up is Mary Ann.
Thank you, Stephanie. Well, hopefully up on the slide, it shows, which it doesn't. There we go. Christmas seal stuffing. That is coming up on October the 15th. And so many of you in this room have done Christmas seal stuffing year after year after year. And believe me, we are so very thankful. We're going to do this from 10:30 to 1:30 right here in the Fellowship Hall. For those of you who are new, our Christmas seal fundraising campaign is the largest campaign that we run each year. And this year we're going to be mailing out 5,000 pieces. So this is going to be a big job this year. So we need as many volunteers as we possibly can get. If you can spare a couple of hours, that really helps us an awful lot, because at the end of the day, it saves us a tremendous amount of money on production costs. And plus, we will feed you pizza. And I don't know about you, but pizza is a great motivator for me. So I hope to see you, and thank you so much. And I think, Deborah, you're up next.
Thank you, Marianne. Hi, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some new faces, which I'm eager to get to learn. I'm Deborah McMichael. I am the Life Enrichment Director at both the Harbor and at the Lodge. And we have a lot of really wonderful activities. We had a movie on Friday. It was our first time trying a movie, inviting independents and assisted livings, and it went really, really well. We had a little popcorn emergency. Our popcorn had expired in 2/2 this year. So we didn't feed you that, and I've ordered plenty of popcorn for this week. We will be showing Calamity Jane, which is a really fun cowboy western musical with Doris Day. I'm going to have a variety of different movies selected for you guys. There's no sign-up sheet. The multi-purpose room that we're calling the Harbor Hall, it fits a lot of people. So no need to sign up. Just show up at 2 o'clock. And in terms of the pub, I believe Jerry's going to address that a little bit later. But that's going to be another opportunity for you to come on over and enjoy our beautiful new building. There is a couple other activities I would like to bring to the forefront. Vince and I have been talking, and our ALF exercise is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And that exercise over there is a little less high impact. It's more gentle movements. So anyone that would like to come over to there for exercise is more than welcome. Also on Monday mornings, Pastor Schaefer, which I don't think is he in here today? Pastor Schaefer comes in on Monday and does a Bible study as well in the Harbor Hall, which is the multi-purpose room. And we want to invite any and all of the Haven to come and join him for his Bible study. It's a really nice time. Also, I'm going to have some special events here and there. My first special event that everyone in the Haven is invited to is I have a man from Rollins College. He's the assistant curator, and he is going to be showing Old World Masters the artwork, and he's going to explain the different exhibits. And that is going to be taking place Friday, September 27th at 11 a.m., again in the Harbor Hall. Now, looking towards the future, I also have the Comedy Club. They're going to come back. I have a Christian band coming. So I have a lot of fun things in the future that we would love to have you come and visit us. Any questions for me? Okay. Our next person.
Hi everyone, how you doing today? You guys doing good? All right, well we are going to go ahead and get started. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. My 6-year-old daughter, she told me a joke, and I can't not say it. So if you come to the exercise classes, you know that we like to tell jokes. So what do you call a hula hooping cow? A milkshake. Thank you, Jaylee, for that one. All right, so first we're going to talk about a little bit about motivation and lack of motivation. We all experience lack of motivation as we age. Staying motivated can become challenging. There's various factors that can contribute to that. We have physical, emotional, and social factors that can contribute to low motivation. And we're just going to talk a little bit about what can cause those factors and then ways that you can implement those throughout your daily life to overcome those. So first, factors contributing to low motivation. We have physical health changes. So chronic pain, conditions like arthritis, diabetes, heart diseases, these can all contribute to a lack of motivation. Decreased energy levels due to aging or medication side effects, again, can contribute to low motivation. We have mental and emotional factors. So depression or anxiety can also decrease interest in activities that once brought us joy. Cognitive declines, such as memory issues, may affect confidence and willingness to engage in day-to-day activities. So a few more contributing factors. We have social isolation, so loneliness or lack of meaningful social connections can result in feeling disconnected and lack of motivation. Retirement or loss of a loved one can also reduce social interaction, leading to less engagement. And then routine. So a lack of variety in your daily routine can cause boredom, and this can also decrease enthusiasm to try new things. So now we're going to go ahead and quickly go through ways that if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, how can you overcome them? And these are just a few. There's many more, but these are just a few important ones that stood out to me. First, you can set small achievable goals for yourself. So break larger tasks down into smaller tasks. For instance, aim for a 10-minute walk instead of a 30-minute workout. Something like that might look like a person who wants to improve their fitness but finds long workouts exhausting. They start to take a 10-minute walk, and then they very slowly progress and work up to a 20-minute walk and then to a 30-minute walk. So start small. Don't just jump. Don't just go straight to the finish line. Celebrate progress, no matter how small it is. This can boost confidence and keep motivation high. So reward yourself, like with a treat, such as like maybe like a small piece of chocolate after completing a task. Allow your dark chocolate, better for your heart. There you go. So when you do this, your body releases a chemical called dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical in your body. And then when you do that, your body is going to relate that feeling, that good feeling, to the task that you just completed. So it's going to help you to continue to perform that task over and over again. So just a little trick right there. Create a routine with variety. Develop a flexible daily routine that incorporates enjoyable activities like gardening, reading, or learning a new hobby. Vary your schedule to include both active and restful periods, preventing boredom and fatigue. Also, connect socially. Reach out to friends, family, or senior groups for regular social interaction. Join clubs. Volunteer or participate in community activities to build new relationships. All of this can help overcome lack of motivation. We have prioritized mental health. Practice mindfulness or relaxation techniques to reduce stress and anxiety. You could try doing daily meditation, or try using one of those mindfulness apps. You can download them on your phone that walks you through kind of like a headspace that helps you meditate and kind of shows you how to do that. That's something that you can do for free. Don't hesitate to seek professional support for depression or cognitive concerns. Something like this might look like a person's experiencing memory issues, and they're going to schedule regular therapy sessions with a counselor who specializes in this, and they're going to talk through their challenges to give them tools to cope and boost their confidence. Okay? So, after that, we are going to move on to these are what I just talked about, example strategies. I can give those. If you guys want a copy of that, I'd be happy to print those out for you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Health and Wellness Exercise Rewards Program. If you guys aren't aware of this, there is an awards program. There's always been one ever since I've got here, but we are just going to kind of tweak it a little bit. You used to bring me your punch cards, right? You would get a certain amount of punches, and then I would give you something in return. We're still doing that, except now we're going to have different levels, and you're going to get different rewards for each level. So the first level, we have the bronze level. This is going to be 4 punch cards. That's equal to 100 punches. And what you're going to get at this level is one of these T-shirts right here. So get your punches and come get your T-shirts. Also, we're going to have a recognition board, and it's going to be the bronze level recognition board, and you're going to have your name. Hold on one second. Let me get it. It's right here. Don't go anywhere. This right here. So there's going to be 3 of these, 1 bronze, 1 silver, and 1 gold. And you're going to get your name on that. And it's going to go up on a wall over here somewhere, and it's just going to show that you've completed a first milestone, you know. And then once you move to the silver level, we'll move your name over, and then you'll work to gold. So once you do get to silver, that's 225 punches on a punch card. This is what a punch card looks like right here. I have tons of them in my office, so come to me and get your punch cards. So then you're going to move to the silver level. And we'll get you one of the gift cards to the landings like we've been doing, okay? And then you're going to move down to the gold level. That's going to be 5 punches or 305 punch cards or 350 punches. There, you're going to put your name on the gold recognition board, and you have the choice, if you'd like to. You can give a testimony, and we're going to put that on the scroll. You can have your picture, you can have your name. It's up to you. You can have no picture, no name, just testimony. success story. Just talk about how exercise has helped you throughout your life. Okay, and then you're also going to get a little reward at the end for that. Okay. So these are qualifying exercises for the exercises class, for the rewards program. Pretty much everything that we do here, you can count as a punch on your punch card. So if you participate in aqua fitness, punch the card. If you go down and just free swim and do some laps, get your punch card in. Any of the classes that we do in Fellowship Hall, even ones that I don't instruct, like yoga, or body and soul, or line dancing, still, you can count that, get your punches, and any of the other ones on there. Even if you go out and go use the putting green, or play around a horseshoes, or use the shuffleboard, I'm going to let you count that as well, because you're out and you're active and you're moving, and that's what I like to see. So make sure you punch, make sure you get your punches, bring those cards to me and get your rewards. And let's see, last but not least, for those of you who participated with in one of the exercise classes here with Julie, it was called Exercise with Julie. It was paused for about a month due to some of her scheduling conflicts, but now it is coming back, and it's going to be every Thursday at 2:00, and it's going to be in Harbor Hall. So if that's something that you would like to participate in, please come do that. It's going to be the same format that she did in here. She's just going to do it over there. That's every Thursday, and that's going to be starting next Thursday, the 26th. And I believe that is it for me. Let's see. You have a question? Yes.
Once you get the 100, you save that towards the next 2050, or you have to do another set?
You get your next, then you get your next one. Yeah, just like before, you would bring your next 5 set of cards in. Yeah. Yes. Oh, repeat the question. She asked, once you have your first 100 punches on the punch card, do you just count those towards the next one? And the answer is no. You just bring me your next 5 punch cards, kind of like how it was previously. Yes. No, yes, because I can't be there with you and all of you for every single thing that'd be there would need to be like 50 of me. So it's on the honor system, and I trust that you guys are going to be honest. Right? Yes.
Your bike rental, but is it bike
It's I should change it to bike checkout, because there is no fee for the tricycle. Rentals it's set up there. It's just sign out. We have the tricycles on the back side of the gym right over here. There is no fee for those. You can just come to me and sign them out. There is no fee.
Two-part question. One is an employee wanted to know if they were eligible to get points for those shirts, and two, if so, Gary wanted to know if the physique comes with it.
No, you got it. They have a sale going on at Target. You go to Target for that. So buy one, get one. Yes. Yeah. This has been going on since before I started this position. You never heard about it? Yeah. Well, yeah, this has been going on since before I came.
We don't walk the exact yoga, the exact loop that you have set up. We do have a group of ladies that walk
That counts.
all the way around
Yep.
sometimes all the way around the church and get about
Yes. Every morning. Yeah. Count it. Yep. Walking group in the morning counts. Yes. Evening walking group counts. Yes. Afternoon walking group counts.
There's lots of exercise opportunities on Thursdays now. Will there be any other things, like put something back on Wednesday, or?
We're working on that right now, trying to find something to fill that time slot, because this space is being used quite a bit. So we're trying to work it with everybody's schedule in here, the instructor's schedule. But that is in progress. Yes, but it hasn't happened yet. I will keep you posted when it does, though. But we are actively working on that. Yes.
Start square dance lessons again on Saturdays at 4 o'clock.
What was the name of that? Yeah.
Good thing to answer that.
Say that one more time.
Square dance lessons starting on Saturdays, not this Saturday, but
Oh, good. Okay. Did you guys hear that? So yeah, it's called Whirl and Twirl, and it's square dancing lessons, and it's happening every Saturday at 4 o'clock. And you said it's $2 per lesson.
First lesson's free.
First,
For Haven residents only.
okay, for Haven.
Outside that, that would be for $6.
First lesson's free, and then it's $2 per lesson after that for Haven residents only. Yeah, it's called Whirl and Twirl on Saturday at 4. Right here in Fellowship Hall, correct? Yes, right here in Fellowship Hall.
What about the other chair yoga starting at 5:45?
Yeah, on Thursdays, yes. That counts for the punch card.
Is that going?
Yes.
It will definitely be starting.
Yes, that's happening right now. Yep, that's been going on. We were just making that announcement just to let you guys know that's been going on since before I started this position as well too. Yeah, so that's been going for quite a while. But yes, absolutely. Feel free to join that too. If you guys would like to do it, feel free to come. You don't have to sign up. Just come. Okay. For right now, at least. Yeah. Huh? It's free. That is free. Yes.
Is there a time limit or expiration time on the cards?
No, not right now. It's ongoing right now. Yeah, it'll close. I guess when I say it closes, but right now it's ongoing and it's open. Yes. Right. Exactly. Well, some people, if you exercise 2 or 3 times, I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying some people exercise 2-3 times a day, and they bring me these cards like every 2 to 3 months. So you can do it pretty quickly, but it's up to you. I'm not saying go out and exercise 2 to 3 times a day and overdo it and burn yourself out. You got to listen to yourself, but I'm just saying you can get your punch cards turned in quicker, if you'd like to. But yeah, you don't have to just do one a day. Any other questions? Yes.
If you go to physical therapy, can we use a card?
That's a good question. You are being active. You are being active. Let me think about that. That's a 50-50 right there. I think we should be able to count it though. Yeah, I don't see why not, because you're being active and you're exercising. Yes.
If you push these doors,
Yeah. No, that does not count. Sorry. Very good question though. That's like racking and unracking your weights like that. Okay, is that it? All right, up next is Julie with the Be Well Clinic.
Okay, and I didn't exercise, but I'm his boss, so I got a shirt, okay? Okay, all right. Just a reminder, we have the vaccination clinic. That's coming on September 24th. It's a Tuesday. It's going to start at 9 o'clock in the Be Well Clinic. I need your help on this. We just learned from the Westminster Pharmacy that anybody that's having a COVID vaccine, we need to have your consent forms this week. They have to send it off to the government, so we have to get that in as soon as possible. I mean, if you want to give us both the flu vaccine and the COVID, that would be great too. We'll just hold it. They will be giving out the vaccination card, so you guys will be getting something, okay, that shows you the date and the lot number for both. Please be aware that anybody getting the flu vaccine, we are going to reserve the lantern. Because after you get your COVID, we want you to go into the lantern for observation for 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Also, please come only at your scheduled time. We've got over 85 people to do in a short time. We're trying to limit it to 5 minutes per vaccination. So please, it'll be crowded. Please be patient with us. Also with that, we have an overflow as well, and there's probably about 20 more. So the pharmacy will give us another date, probably about mid-October, when they will offer it again, okay? And then the only thing is Westminster Pharmacy has now changed their name to Longevity Scripts. So if you see that on your medications bottles, it's now Longevity Scripts. Okay. Any questions?
Is the flu vaccine time filled now, or can you still sign up?
You can sign up, but you will go into the overflow, and then we will let you know when the next date and time is.
Do you know, is the COVID vaccine the mRNA or mRNA free?
That I don't know. It was not in part of the packaging, so that I can't tell you at this point.
They recommend that people not get the mRNA because that leads to heart problems and stroke.
I can find that out. Yeah, I can find that out for you. Yeah.
If you're on the overflow list and not scheduled yet, do you still have to have your consent form in this early?
No, but it's a good idea, and we'll just hang on to them because we'll have the second date, and we'll make sure that it gets to the pharmacy. Yeah, we'll collect them in the clinic, and then we're going to send them all off in one batch. So.
The consent form is only if you want the COVID shot, right?
You're gonna fill out both the flu vaccine and the COVID. If you only want the flu vaccine, I mean, we recommend that you bring them to us as soon as possible, but if you can't, you can bring it the day of, just for the flu. Okay.
Where do we get them?
At the Be Well Clinic, you can get the forms. Okay. So I'm sorry that it's so quick on you guys, because I know at first they told us to bring it in at day of immunization, but they just called us yesterday. So. Thank you. Riley.
Thanks, Julie. All right. Well, so, and I'm sorry, I played around with this stupid slide and I could not get the font or anything to work. So just listen carefully to what I'm saying. I had a heck of a time with this morning. I don't know what it did, but anyways, a lot of questions came up about, we just had the dedication at the end of August, and why aren't things open yet? And what are we doing over here? And how come anything wasn't prepared? And so I'm just going to address some of them. All right. So, we did have the dedication, and that was because we were pretty, we had our CO at that point in time, our certificate of occupancy, and the board happened to be here. So rather than having everything 100%, meaning, the POS system up for the charges for the food and all that stuff, and our beer and wine license and yada, 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 we decided to go ahead and dedicate the building while the Board of Trustees was here. Remember, we dedicated the pool, and we didn't get to use it for a few more weeks until after the dedication, right? So kind of the same thing. So there was a few other things that we had to get in line before we can fully open up all the space over there. So let me run through some of them. I had a meeting a couple weeks ago with Lori and Deborah and Julie Clark and Vince, because they're the parties that, that are in play with all of their calendars and activities. And as we open the harbor common areas up and want to invite the entire community to use them, we got to have some level of coordination so we're not stepping on each other's toes over there with the various activities that are scheduled. All right, so we had that meeting, and we identified 5 areas of use or potential usage over there. All right, the galley, so that's where the residents eat over there, but when that's not being used, it's a potential gathering space for groups to meet. All right, you have the crow's nest, which is the pub, and I'll get to that in a minute. You have the corner pocket, which is the game room, and then you have the harbor hall, which is the multi-purpose room, and you have the harbor library. So those are 5 potential spaces that groups can meet, play cards, games, activities and whatnot. And so we've got those identified now, and we want you to know that you can still use these areas even though we don't have, like, the pub per se is not open yet. Why? Because the POS, which is point of sale, not what you all are thinking it is, okay? The POS system is still being worked on and programmed and all that stuff to get up and running so that we can charge for food and beverages when that portion of it gets opened up, all right? So as soon as that's up and running, then we should be able to have those things available. Now, in the meantime, when we have food and stuff over there, and Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong, we have completed our application for the beer and wine license, okay? But, it's going to take some time to get that back from the authorities. In the meantime, I think the idea is that it's probably BYOB. In moderation, we're Lutherans, okay? BYOB, so you can come over there and utilize that as you get your meals and whatnot. Once we have the beer and wine license, and then there will be adult beverages for sale over there. That's just beer and wine, not your other stuff. All right. So with that being said, then you can utilize all those spaces right now. But what you need to do, and what I'm suggesting to you all as independent living residents, is call the concierge desk. The concierge is the one who will make the appropriate phone calls of who they need to make sure that the space is available for what you want to use it for. All right. Just realize that there may be times, obviously there's going to be times that you can't use the galley because the residents are eating over there. All right. There will be a point in time when our POS gets open that you can go and make reservations to eat in the galley as well. All right. And then, as Deborah and Lori coordinate activities and whatnot, we'll have more integrated activities over there. Deborah's already doing some of that with the movies and inviting you all over to watch movies with the residents. Vince is already integrating some of his exercise classes and inviting you all to go over and be a part of the classes there. So we're trying to expand what we do here and integrate our community together a little bit more. So that's a little bit what's going on with that. It takes time, all right? Well, I would love to just do the I Dream of Jeannie and there it is. But it just doesn't work that way. Look how long it took me to get the mailboxes built. Case in point. Yeah, exactly. All right. So those are some of the questions, that came up. Went through all that stuff with you. The Aquatic Center. Here's the other questions that came up. Some of those. With all the rain, who's monitoring the pool level so it doesn't overflow? And that's a valid concern, right? I mean, we're getting some heavy rains in the afternoon. And then if that's the case now with our normal afternoon scheduled rains, what happens during a hurricane? Okay, we do have plans in place for that. Our pool maintenance company does monitor the water level, releases the valves as they need to, and controls the flow of that. In the event of a hurricane, we have the agreement with them that they'll come out and put the pool level where they think it ought to be for an event, during that situation. So we do have overflow valves on that we can control the water levels with. Secondly, with the cooler weather, the pool seems a little on the cold side. How do we regulate the temperature? Well, we have a thermostat that's in the pool pack out there that the pool company can also regulate. And as soon as I learn it fully, then I'll be able to do that as well. You can adjust it up and down and whatnot is my understanding of it. It's kind of like your AC thermostat. All right. I already know one resident in here who asked me about the cooling system on it rather than the heating system, but I don't know that it functions like that, and I don't think that we had the foresight to put that in at the time. But okay, but we do have that capacity, especially as we get into the winter months. I know it seems ironic to say winter in Florida, but you can get some chilly mornings here, and we do have that availability to regulate the temperature on the pool. All right, and then lastly, what's going on with the access control system? When can we start using our key fobs? I'm tired of these hours right here. Yes, I understand all that. And finally, just a couple weeks ago, the system did get installed. The hard system on it. Now it's in its final stages of programming. So once the system goes in, you got to program all that information in there, set the times on for when you can have access and when you can't, and all that. And that takes a little bit of time too. But that's nearing completion. So as soon as we know that information, we will put that word out, scroll, whatever other means we have to make sure that you understand that you can start using your fobs. Okay. A little bit about that. All right. Landing's Butterfly MX system. You're like, what in the world is that? Some of you already noticed that there's been this box that's been mounted to the walls just to the right of it's on the exterior wall of the landings, just to the right of the front doors. And everybody says, what is this? Is this a new version of the old God box system we used to have out here? No, not necessarily, okay? And this really doesn't impact you per se, but you need to know what it's about, all right? So it's kind of like an apartment building entry system. What it's intended to do is we upload all the residents who live in the landings, their information in there, okay? And if they have caregivers, this is the main reason why we've installed this system. If you have caregivers and they're after-hour caregivers and it's after the concierge has come, there's been times in the past where the resident just can't get down there to let them in. They don't have access to it. This system, they can look up the resident in the directory, call them, the resident can verify who it is, and then give them a temporary access code and allow them to come in. You can assign temporary 4-digit PIN numbers for a caregiver who's, you know, that's going to be there for 24 to 48 hours, and that thing has an expiration date on it. It's got a property manager's function so that if a resident can't answer something and it's something necessary for somebody to get in, they can call the property management function. That'll be somebody in administration. And we can verify who it is, and we have the remote capability of letting them in or saying, no, you don't belong in there. So that's what it's all about. You all still have your key fobs. Residents and landings have your key fobs. All your key fobs working, all the access control, so continue to use the access control. This system is specifically for those types of instances with caregivers and things like that. Any questions on that? All right. Lastly, just a little housekeeping business here, some general reminders about the usage of the space because we have more and more groups using it, newer residents and whatnot. So just a general reminder to put things away in the kitchen when you're finished, okay? That includes the coffee urns, you know, the water containers, whatever it may be. You know, please don't leave anything out on the drain board, you know. If you're going to hand wash it, just dry it and put it back out of the drawer or the cabinet you got it out of. Or if you're going to load the dishwasher, just come back, you know, set yourself a reminder. If it was the end of the day, come back the next morning if you have the capability, or let one of us know that you can't come back, or find somebody else to do it. But help us to put things away. It takes many hands, and we've got so much going on that I know when Lori was out, I forgot to put stuff away, and I came in one morning and some other group had used it on top of what I had done, and I thought I was still at my house trying to clean up, you know. So it's just a general reminder that we are a community. This is a community building, so please help us out. We'll help each other out in making sure that everything gets back into its proper spot. Okay? Any questions for me on any of that stuff there? Yes?
Yeah, this is actually kind of a two-part question. Now I've narrowed it down to you. When you open the pub, is there going to be a senior discount, was the first part. And the second part is, how old would I have to be considered a senior in this crowd?
You know, I don't get stumped very often, but I'm going to leave that one for the guy after me. Yes, Norm.
I talked to the pool guy the other day. He said the temperature was set at 83.
It was set at 80. He said he talked to the pool guy the other day. The temperature was set at 83. All right. That wasn't what it was set at before.
But 30,000 gallons of water is not going to be heated like a cup of tea.
Right. It's going to take time. Exactly. And then you got the outside elements, and when you add rain in the afternoon, that affects it as well. And it's going to be, you know, adjusting the temperature is going to be something we're going to have to play with. Realize we're not going to please everybody. For some people, it's going to be cold, and other people, it's going to be too warm. You know, there's no happy medium. I think the only time we're going to have a happy medium was when Jesus comes back. So we'll see. But back to your question, I mean, that's a great point. You know, I think you guys qualify, and you're probably going to get whatever discount is set at the price that you're going to be charged. So the probably ones that won't get the discount are us employees, you know. So, yeah. All right, any other questions for me before I turn it over to Jerry? All right, next up, our CEO. I'll let you flip through it.
All right. All right, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. For those of you that are here, thanks for coming. For those of you that are watching at home, thanks for tuning in. And just a quick reminder, if you missed it or your neighbors missed it, will be available on the YouTube channel. So you can always go back to old meetings or this meeting to watch any part of it. A couple of quick things. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time today because I took way too much last time, I think. But I want to give you a few quick updates. First, I just want you to know that I am the before picture. Vince is the after picture. Okay? So that's how I participate in the program. And if Vince, oh, there he is. Okay. And so the other thing, I think somebody asked about therapy, and the therapy, Mrs. Seward asked about the therapy. So here's my kind of initial thought. This is not what it's going to be. We got to think about it and everything. But my initial thinking is the therapy units, going to therapy will count if post-therapy you start a maintenance routine with Vince to continue to stay with your program. And then we can retroactively apply those to the fitness program, because that's the goal, is not just to get you out of therapy, but to keep you from going back to therapy. Now, don't tell Alex that I said that, because he wants you to come back as much as you can, I think. So I think those were a few of the things. As for the senior discount, I'm okay with, I think you'll get the same discount you're getting today over there. And, you know, we might entertain something if you reach that centurion mark, then maybe we'll give you 100% discount. How's that? Make it to 100, and there's a place my mom goes, and anybody over 95 eats free. Pretty nice. All right, so let's get on to the stuff that I had planned to talk about. The first thing is I had a chance to meet with the Resident Association Coordination Committee. So that's a group that we get together once every quarter. It's composed of the heads of most of the resident committees, not all the subcommittees. So we have the Executive Council, the Auxiliary, Village Shop, a few of the other committees on there. And then we get together just to kind of coordinate and talk about what might be going on. So I had the pleasure of meeting with them earlier this month, and I'm going to give you a couple updates from that meeting. But first, I want to take a moment to thank all of those who serve as the heads of the committees and of those subcommittees for giving your time to helping the Haven. Stephanie talked about it at the Lunch and Learn. Nothing speaks more volumes than you guys talking about life here, and nothing makes life here good except for you guys. You guys make it. And so participating on these committees, heading those committees is a lot of work. And I just want to take a moment to thank all the heads of those committees and the participants in that coordination committee, because that's yet another meeting they have to go to. And then for all of you that help on those committees, that are members of those committees and subcommittees, thank you. Because again, that's what makes the Haven the Haven. For 75 years, residents have been helping residents and putting that here, and that's just, that allows them to function. So let's see, there we go. So the first thing is a Village Shop update. First, I want to thank Marion Rickert for all her years of service for running the Village Shop. What an amazing run she had, and so let's thank her. Just what a wonderful thing. And then welcome to Sally Rowe, who is taking over for Marilyn. And as I semi-joked in our steering committee, she's volunteering for the next 20 years. So she didn't know that. I think they forgot to put that in the contract that she didn't sign, but it's there. So we want to help and support her and everything that's going on there at the Village Shop. Then moving on to the auxiliary, I believe October 4th is October 4th is the board meeting. October 9th is that anybody from the auxiliary? October 9th, is that the lunch, that's, okay, October 9th is the all community potluck. I think that'll be here. Yeah, at 12:30. And I want to remind everybody that they need volunteers for everything. So I think Kathy got up last time, Kathy and Jeannie, so we need it for the flea market, for the house sales, for that group that does the house sales, for I think the hospitality. I think Yolanda is working on the hospitality there. So So if you want to get involved in life on campus, the auxiliary and village shop are great places to do that. Frac committee is continuing to work, continuing their work, working with Mary Ann and the other groups to see about ways to continue to raise money for the Haven. On the administration side, we've primarily been working on closing out fiscal year 2024. That ended on August 31st. Michael and his crew are going crazy trying to get everything ready because in the midst of all that, our billing software decided that they would sell themselves to another company, and that company decided they would shut that software down. So we're in the middle of transitioning to a new billing software on top of year end, on top of getting fiscal 2025 started and getting all the files rolled over. So if you are if you have any experience with accounting and month ends and year ends, you know that they're having a whole bunch of fun over there right now. As for the rest of us, I think Raleigh alluded to it. We're busy trying to tie up all the loose ends for all those projects that we got finished, all the little things. Beer and wine license has been submitted to the county, so the process is and we waited to submit the beer and wine license until we got the certificate of occupancy. We didn't want anything, the county to have any flag or any reason to delay us from getting the CO, so we waited. So it's at the county right now. It has to be signed off by zoning and 2 or 3 other committees. And then from that point, it goes to the state alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, or alcohol beverage something group for approval. But they anticipate that should be a pretty relatively quick process. This is a very simple license. There's no exceptions. The last time we tried, we had a couple of exceptions that we were asking for. This time, there's really no exceptions. So that's moving on. Jeff is, you can imagine, our IT department of 1.25 people is really overrun because just about everything that I mentioned has an IT aspect to it. Butterfly MX, the fobs, and the access control for the aquatic center, I think I said the Butterfly MX, the sound systems and TVs and everything for the pub and all of those things. That all goes through IT. Don't forget the software conversion. So getting new software and access to the software loaded for all the people that need it. So they're a little busy. So this year, I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, that's what our focus is trying to get all these little loose ends tied up on all these projects and figure out how we all work together. The calendars, the example that Raleigh gave earlier about all the different groups that have to coordinate, and we don't have a good calendar system that will allow all of that to coordinate and then print out pretty calendars. We got some that'll allow them to coordinate, but then we give you a calendar, you won't be able to read it because it's all crammed into this thing. So all those things are what we're doing from administration and what we're working on. Next, I wanted to follow up on some rate information from the last meeting, couple requests from the last meeting. The two requests I'm following up on are, one, there was a request for the competitive analysis that we did, that we do every year. We do that every year. Right after the meeting, I put it up on or about a week or two after the meeting, I did load it on the resident portal, and so if you log into the resident portal, you'll see it up at the top where that arrow is. We didn't have enough space to put the full name, so you'll have to kind of break the code to figure it out. But I put a big arrow there so you'll be able to see it. And then if you have any questions about getting on the resident portal, just go out to the resident portal, log in. There's some instructions on how to log in that are on there. Just kidding. Yeah, call Jen. She can get Jen. I don't know if Jeannie has those. Raleigh, do you know if Jeannie has those for the portal? Yeah, so if you have any questions about getting onto the portal, Jen over in marketing or Jeannie can help you do that. But and then the other thing is I only made about 35 copies of these, but there's some hard copies in the back on the table where Pastor Elliott is sitting. There's two sets. One is the competitive analysis. So if you just want to pick up a piece of the paper that has the competitive analysis on there. And then the other thing that was asked for was our current price sheets for new people moving in. And at our last REC meeting, I think one of the Gordon, I think, brought those in for the committee, and I made about 35 copies and put them back on the table back there. I didn't make a ton of them because I didn't know how many people actually wanted a hard copy, but and I tried to save a little money on that. So so that's really all I had as far as following up from regarding the rates. The next is to talk a little bit about the benevolent ministry, just to kind of give you a little idea of what that entails. There's 4 elements of the benevolent ministry. There's the monthly service fees that the benevolent ministry can help with. There's assistance with access to benefits, wellness and preventive care, and emergent care. So monthly service fee kind of speaks for itself. If you need help in the monthly service fee, the Benevolent Fund can help provide that. Assistance with access to benefits, mostly what that entails is a lot of times to access VA benefits or to access Medicaid, get Medicaid help, that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's some costs associated with that, particularly with Medicaid. There might be an attorney that you're going to need to help file some legal papers or help through the application process. And that can be the same for the VA in order to get some of your VA benefits. So we can provide a little bit of assistance with the cost of helping you to get to the benefits that you might be entitled to get. So it's not a lot that's available there, but we can help with that. Wellness and preventive care, that really doesn't affect you guys directly in terms of you guys applying for this. This is really internally, and what that does is that helps fund the well checks and things that we do primarily through the Be Well Clinic. When Julie's team goes out and just checks on people, that is pretty much where the wellness and preventive care is. So. And then emergent care is one that might directly affect you, and it's about what it sounds like. If there's an emergency, we unfortunately we had a fire a few years ago, so that emergent fund was able to help the folks that were impacted by that. Sometimes if you have caregiver spouses and the spouse who is the caregiver, something medically happens, an emergency, and the remaining spouse needs somebody to look after them, we have this program that will allow us to help cover some of the cost for a few days, making sure that person gets taken care of. And those are the elements. Those are the 4 programs that are services that our benevolent ministry supports. The one I want to just briefly go over real quick, the one that's probably of most immediate interest right now, is our monthly service fee. And so the process for that, there is a process, there are qualifications, but the first step in that is contacting the health concierge. So they are the lead folks that you're going to contact, and then set an appointment with them. You don't necessarily have to tell them what it's about. You can just set an appointment with them, and they'll keep it as confidential as possible. They're going to go over and give you the application package for depending on what you need. You'll complete that application package, and they can help you do that. That provides us with information, and then that package gets submitted to a local Board of Trustees committee that goes through and makes the final determination on if there's benevolent assistance is necessary, and if so, how much. And then they can approve that. And since there is somewhat time, we got a local committee, so we don't have to wait for the board to get together. We can just meet any time. And those approvals, since it does take a little while to get all that together, if you are approved, we can retro that back. So we'll be happy to retro that back if it's approved. But it's not automatic. Most of the time in the past, it's been I don't sometimes we've had some cases where we have turned people down, but mostly it's maybe giving them or offering them a little bit less than what they felt they wanted. But for the most part, we've been able to help the vast majority of folks who are in need, and certainly those who are truly hardcore. But and I guess I really should have said the first step is you got to reach out. You got to reach out. There's a few people that we're going to reach out to and have already reached out to, but for the most part, you got to take that first step and reach out and let us know that you need some help. So that is it for me. So we can go, I guess, to questions. Okay. Oops. Any questions? Oh, there it is. I did not go over. Health concierge, that's going to be Julie Clock and her team, Deanna, Heather Howard, and Julie Clock. So if you call over to the ALF, they can set you up an appointment, or if you see one of them walking, you can just ask them, and they'll guide you. Yes, sir. Yep. Let me bring you the microphone. Speaking of technology.
Speaking of technology, I got a question and an observation. If you guys could think about making access to the portal easier, for us to have to remember 3 discrete logon codes every time we log on, and I have it written down, and it's not always next to where I'm trying to log on, but even my bank remembers the basic logon information. It seems like we would be able to do that here as well and make it easier on everybody, just to think about that. The question that I had for you was, I think pretty much everybody's got some kind of internet access, Wi-Fi or whatever in their homes. Is there a network or something that we can connect to when we're in this building, when we're in the ALF, when we're in the landings, that we can get, like I'm not getting email sitting here right now. Is there something we can connect to in order to do that?
Yes. Okay. So the first question, really yes to both of them. Yeah, it's a pain in the what to access the resident portal. It was designed several years ago, before there were a lot of leaps in technology, and the basic language and programming, I don't know all the technical terms, but the programming language that was used to write it is limiting us. So we are working to try and make that much simpler to be able to do. But those layers of protection, again, it's primarily to make it, as you said, your banks now allow you to go in, but just David Harder, if he was listening to this, would probably shoot me for saying this, but we haven't had any breaches into our website yet. Name me a bank that can say that, right? So our system works really well. It just works too well because there's no access to your financial information. But we are working, and you're 100% right. It's a very valid criticism, and we're working to make that easier. As far as Wi-Fi, yes, we have. Jeff, it's the Lutheran Haven guest. So there, if you should see on your phone, if you go to your settings and look under there, you should see one that says Lutheran Haven Guest, and the password is faithful, all lowercase, right? Faithful is the password. So you can get that in any of our main buildings. You can access that. Yep, sure. So we have that now. If you're out, I don't know if depending on, I don't know if you can pick it up at the pool if you're that far away, or maybe if you're in the corner by the door. It's close to the kitchen, you might be able to, but at least in the building, you should be able to get that. Okay, yeah. So we're going to even have it so you could do that out that way. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. I'm coming back. I'm coming for you. Watch out.
Is there any consideration of ever getting ceiling fans in here? Because during our noontime exercise classes, it's very warm, and when we came right away in here, now it's a little cooler, but.
To be honest, I hadn't really thought about it. That's the first time I've heard that request for ceiling fans in here. I don't, I think we can certainly get fans, if we need some floor fans to get some air circulation. I'm not sure how, from a cost perspective and what would be involved in the ceiling structurally and all that kind of stuff. That would be probably more of a Raleigh type question as to whether we can do that. And primarily we wouldn't be able to hang our balloons up very well. No, just kidding. Yeah, we might be able to get some standing fans or something to improve some circulation. And let me just say, I'm happy to hear that that's an issue, because before we didn't have enough people in here to generate enough heat to get it overheated, and now with vents over here, we got so many people in here we're overheating. So that's a tribute to you guys and your commitment to being a better you, right? So, but yeah, I think we can certainly do something about getting some floor fans to get some circulation, if nothing else. Anything else? Yes, sir. So I think the question is, he's getting his spectrum. The resident is getting his spectrum through like a Wi-Fi device, right? And so it's coming through like a streaming device, basically, and it's coming through, and so he's not able to get the Haven channel, the scroll, I guess, or the channel that would be broadcasting. Or this may be the scroll channel for all I know. I know we got two in there for some, and the church channel. So I think the answer is that those are coming through the actual cable line. Those two channels are. They're not coming in through the Wi-Fi. So Jeff, does that make sense? Yeah. So the channels that are broadcast from other areas that Spectrum serves, they can stream those through the Wi-Fi. The channels, those two channels are being broadcast from here, and they're not broadcast out to Spectrum's Wi-Fi. So they're coming in through the hardwired cable that is laid out here at the Haven. That's the reason that you can't do that. But I'll make a suggestion. Now I don't know about the scroll, but certainly I, on a lot of occasions, even last Sunday, I just go out to YouTube for the St. Luke's channel on YouTube and watch the service from there. It works great. So you would be able to do that, at least get the church services if you wanted to. Well, oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I can't help you on that one. You got to flip a coin, and I think Raleigh, does Jeannie do some kind of distribution of the scroll? Yeah. So now that you know how to get on our Wi-Fi anywhere, you could ask Jeannie, and she can email you the scroll, and that might be a way to save you the fee for the cable. All right, got a question? Oh, wait, calling question? Oh, okay. Wow. There you go. What do you know, finally? Let's see. What's our question here? Hold on. So I can censor the question here. Let's see. Okay, so the question is, wondered if I can tell everybody if the Benevolent Care Fund is adequate to provide for all the people who need it. I don't think I can. I don't think I can say that, because certainly, I'm assuming they mean all the people at the Haven who might need it, and not all the world, because it's not enough for everybody who needs benevolent care. But certainly, we believe that it's adequate to cover the care that the needs for the people who truly need it here at the Haven. So we don't know what all those needs are because not everybody has communicated those to us. But we also know that most of the folks here are financially okay. And it's been providing for 70, however many years it's been around. And so, no, I can't stand up here and say, yes, it'll provide for everybody's needs, because I don't know what everybody's needs are. So I can't really answer that one completely. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Implied in all of the maintenance fee issues
Okay.
is that we're getting a bargain, so we shouldn't complain, compared with whoever else is providing senior services. That's not a justification.
Okay. You're right. It's not. So I think the question, I don't know that it was a question more than a statement, that because our rates are more competitive, that's not a justification for raising the rates. Is that? Yeah. Okay. So duly noted, and valid comment. That's not why we raised the rates. So valid comment. Yeah. So to answer a little bit more, and then we'll move on, is that what we're saying is, we're not raising our rates to equal our competitors. We're just saying that our rates are not unrealistic relative to what the rest of the world is out there. That's all. What drives our rates is our costs. Okay, any other questions? Comments? None? All right, well, have a beautiful rest of your Tuesday. Had to think about that for a second.